Hey everyone, Special Monkey here, and welcome back to the channel. Get ready because Star Citizen just dropped patch 4.1.1. And let me tell you, they haven't just tweaked the flight model, they've given it a shot of adrenaline and a dose of refinement that you feel from the moment you hit the cockpit. I jumped in, and literally within minutes, the difference was night and day. It's smoother, it's more intuitive, and honestly, this might be the best the game has ever felt to fly. So, what's the biggest change making all this magic happen? It all comes down to acceleration. It feels like acceleration capabilities across the board, basically in all directions, forward, up, down, left, right, and critically, back, have been noticeably toned down. Whether you're trying to stop on a dime, blast off, or just gracefully change direction, the movements are a bit less instantaneous, a bit more deliberate. I'll delve a little deeper on what I mean throughout the video, but all you really need to know right now is that it feels super good. Now, the most significant nerf seems to have hit the back thrusters, that infamous back-strafe capability. This, combined with the other changes, means carrying momentum and transitioning between movements feels incredibly smooth and controlled. There's a less janky, less aggressive ramp-up, leading to a flight model that feels more logical and polished. I've also noticed momentum doesn't bleed off quite as fast, especially at afterburner speeds, making your boost feel more efficient. And overall, everything feels a bit heavier, a bit more drifty, in a really satisfying connected way. So what does all this mean when it comes to actual fights? Well, it's a game changer, particularly for aggressive play. Because that general acceleration is lower, and specifically because that backstrafe is so much weaker, closing the distance on an opponent trying to kite you is now significantly easier. This forces more commitment in fights. In our squadron training, we've already seen that disengaging isn't as simple as it used to be, which I think leads to more decisive and meaningful engagements. Now let's talk about how this impacts the PIP, that little aiming reticle we all shoot at to land our shots. Well, the crucial thing to understand, as many experienced pilots will tell you, is that its position relative to the enemy ship dictates and tells you everything you need to know. If your PIP is on the enemy ship and you thrust forward, you close distance. If the PIP is off the enemy ship and no one makes corrective inputs, you're generally going to extend the distance, not close it. Before this patch, the extremely high accelerations made managing this terrifyingly difficult for those who wanted to push into their opponents. Imagine trying to paint precisely within the lines of an adult's colouring book, while riding a caffeinated kangaroo that's just had an espresso shot. That's honestly what it often felt like trying to keep your PIP steady on an enemy, especially one who is actively evading. Your opponent could make small, quick maneuvers, and because their ship could accelerate so rapidly, your PIP would be thrown wildly off target. This didn't just make aiming hard, it meant that even if you were trying to push forward, the PIP would be deflected so far, so quickly, that it was almost impossible to maintain a trajectory that actually closed the distance unless you burnt a lot of boost. This is because the further the PIP is from the ship, the more energy you will need to get it closer to the ship. You'd burn tons of boost and shields trying to push an advantage, while your opponent, with minimal effort, could keep creating separation because their high acceleration kept deflecting your PIP off target. It heavily rewarded a passive, evasive playstyle. But now, with the toned-down accelerations, especially the backwards thrust, the whole dynamic has pretty much shifted. It's like going from painting while riding that caffeinated kangaroo to sitting on a Herman Miller ergonomic office chair. The lines are clear, your hand is steady, and your deliberate actions produce predictable, satisfying results. You still need skill and focus, but you're no longer fighting the medium itself. When an opponent maneuvers, your PIP still moves, but it doesn't get thrown nearly as far or as quickly, because their ability to rapidly accelerate and create that instant, large separation is reduced, especially with their backstrafe being less effective. The degree of PIP deflection is smaller. This means your forward acceleration is now comparatively much stronger against their attempts to retreat. Consequently, the amount of counter thrust you, the attacker, need to apply to bring that PIP back onto the target and maintain your closing vector is significantly less. Less drastic corrections mean less boost consumed. Crucially, this also means it takes less time to close that distance when you commit to a forward push. And less time spent closing the gap directly translates to taking less damage during your approach. You're no longer losing all your boost, half your shields, and a significant chunk of time just to maybe get within range. This is why pushing forward, playing aggressively, is finally a consistently viable, resource-efficient, and frankly, a more viable strategy than it used to be. You can actually maintain that closing trajectory without your target instantly nullifying it with a quick jink that previously demanded a massive resource dump and a prolonged, vulnerable approach from you to counter. It feels like skill in maneuvering and sustained pressure are rewarded rather than just twitch reactions and resource attrition battles heavily favouring the evader. So, what's the bottom line here? The game simply flows better, fights feel smoother, more engaging, and the tweaks to master modes, driven by these acceleration changes, are genuinely excellent. This rewarding of aggressive play is, I believe, what truly fosters exciting positional fighting. And by positional fighting, I mean it feels less like a chaotic space brawl and more like a deadly dance, where you can actually outwit and outmaneuver your opponent to get that crucial firing solution. It just works and it pays off. The pacing, the responsiveness, the overall controllability. It all feels more deliberate and refined. This isn't just a minor numbers tweak. It feels like a fundamental improvement to the gameplay feel. I might be talking gibberish, but this is really how it felt. I'm genuinely impressed with what they've done so far. While I haven't memorized the patch notes, my in-cockpit experience tells me this is a fantastic update. I truly believe this might be the best the flight model has felt since master modes were introduced. It feels like we might finally have a golden patch for Star Citizen combat. I can see these changes having positive knock-on effects too. Turrets might be more effective, multi-crew ships could find their footing better. It feels like things are clicking into place. This is a really good direction for the game, and I'm super pleased and happy. So yeah, that's my take after spending some time with the new patch. I'm loving these changes. But hey, that's just me. What do you guys all think? Have you tried it out? Do you agree? Or do you think I'm completely delusional and have no clue what's going on? Please do let me know in the comments. Maybe it's just my new medication talking. Or maybe I'm just trying to cope with missing the old legacy flight model. Or maybe this patch is actually really golden. Thank you for the support in the past few days. It is extremely appreciated. Anyways, on that note, fly smart, fly free, and most importantly, have fun. Monkey out.